Steelers Nation, we are back live here on Steelers Talk, presented by Prize Picks. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today on a beautiful Wednesday evening to talk some Steelers football. And yes, the continuation of our Madden simulated season. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. Of course, it's been a while since we've been live here on the channel as I got married over the weekend. We'll talk a little bit about that here in just a second. But we got a bunch of great content for you guys locked and loaded over the weekend. We've been ready to do this live stream here for a while now, and we got a lot to talk about today. First up, should the Pittsburgh Steelers sign Baker Mayfield next year? That rumor is certainly swirling around in Steelers Nation. I'll give my take, and it might surprise some people out there. Then we'll get into Pittsburgh's cap situation right now. After the Nick Herbig and Darnell Washington contract extensions, what does the Pittsburgh Steelers cap situation look like? How much money do they have this year? How much money do they have next year? Is it going to affect the way that the Steelers go about business with Joey Porter Jr., Keanu Benton, and others? Going to answer those questions in the second segment today. Then we'll get into our latest rookie player profile here for the Pittsburgh Steelers with Eli Heidenreich, the seventh-round running back, wide receiver hybrid out of Navy. And then, of course, our continuation here of our Madden simulated season. This week, Week 7 in Paris versus the New Orleans Saints. We got a lot on tap for you guys here. I want to see who the real ones are down there in the comment section. Spam those me's in the chat. If you've liked the stream so far, and if you've done so far, we'll give you guys a shout out. We got 146 people watching live, only 30 likes though. I got to get to at least 50 likes before we can get into our first segment today here, guys. We've got Robert Locke, we got Jack Hay, we got Ali the Reaper, we got Gray Marrow, we got Urza 1 Alpha, we've got Chuck Dugan, we've got Matthew. Czar Craig, as always, is here. Shane Boone, Robert Kirkpatrick, good to see you, Robert. We've got Aaron, Kevin Reed, Louie, Steve. We've got Steeler Fan 94. We've got Jay. We've got Robert Kirkpatrick. We've got 812. We've got Million. We've got Eric Brown. Fluffy is here. We've got Sam, Million, 812. Robert Kirkpatrick. Fluffy again. We got a good crew of Steelers fans ready to talk some ball here. And as always, guys, if you have a question, a comment, whatever the case may be, you guys want to help support the show, you guys can send in a super chat of any dollar amount to get your question or comment up on screen of any topic of your choosing. Ponzi and I will be happy to answer any and all Steelers questions for you guys. Definitely appreciate your guys' support. If you don't know how to super chat, you guys can click that symbol down there in the live chat room that looks like a dollar bill. You click that symbol, then you put in the dollar amount that you want, and then you send it in. So greatly appreciate your guys' support. Then, if you guys want to skip the line, you guys can go Venmo or PayPal. Reason why Venmo and PayPal questions get to skip the line of Super Chat questions is because we get to keep more of those proceeds. So at Jack Sperry on Venmo, at Captain Jack Rabbit on PayPal. YouTube takes a 30% cut of every Super Chat you send in, just so you guys know, and Apple takes another 10%. So with Venmo and PayPal, more of your donation dollars go back to us here at Steelers Talk. So we greatly appreciate questions being brought forth there on Venmo and PayPal as always. So big shout out to you guys. We got a lot of super chats to get to here momentarily, but before we get into all of that great stuff and the rest of our show, let's have a word from our presenting sponsor here on Steelers Talk Live, which is Prize Picks, which is America's #1 sports picks app. The finals are now in full swing, and the World Cup is right around the corner as well. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm really enjoying Spurs versus Knicks, and I'm going to be putting a lineup in for every single game of the finals this year. The app is super easy to use. You just pick more than or less than on a few player stat projections and then lock in your lineup. And with the World Cup coming up here, they do have a max discount for Cesar Montes, who plays for Mexico. With passes there, you just press the more on that, and of course he's probably going to pass it more than 0 times. So if that happens, you end up essentially getting a free play in your Prize Picks lineup. So you guys can take a look here at this particular World Cup lineup that I have. I'm taking the more on Fernandez, the more on Mbappe, and the more on Messi. Get those World Cup lineups in as well as finals lineups. Of course, the next game for the NBA Finals is tonight here, so download the Prize Picks app today and use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with Prize Picks. Click the link in the comments and description to download the app, and a big thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring Steelers Talk Live. All right, let's get this out of the way here. Saturday, me and the beautiful, formerly Cassie Voth, got married in Minnesota. It was a beautiful day. Of course, you see a picture here of my lovely bride and our dog, Rosie, who's officially a spare dog now, Ponzi, by the way. But I've been calling Cassie Spare Dog here over the last several days because her last name is Sperry now. So thank you guys so much. Everybody that reached out to me on social media or any of that stuff, man, I can't thank you enough for all the outpouring of joy and love and appreciation that you guys have sent our direction here and all the well wishes. So big shout out to my lovely wife, Cassie, no longer my lovely fiance, my lovely wife, Cassie Sperry, who also officially changed her YouTube name. So you'll see her down in the chat room as Cassie Sperry. And of course, we got our dog, Rosie, there. Isn't she cute? All right, well, let's bring in our producer, Mr. Ponzi. It's good to be back in this chair, my friend.
Man, it's been a long time. Obviously, I had to fill in. Thank you all for all the support on my short for Darnell Washington. That was very nice to see. But, been a while. A lot of news happened over the weekend, and a lot of not news happened over the weekend as we were expected to get the Keanu Benton and Joey Porter Jr. news soon. So, very, very proactive.
I mean, the Darnell Washington news came in midway through my flight to Minnesota. So I get down and I turn off airplane mode and I get all these messages. I'm like, God damn it. And then we ended up filming that video from the car at Raising Cane. So definitely that was, and then we had a couple more signings. They signed Robert Tonyan and Jamin Davis. We got a couple videos out for those two. But then after that, it was pretty smooth sailing. We had the wedding and, all that different stuff, and it was fantastic. And Ponzi, did a great job filling in, pushing some of those videos on Saturday and Sunday for me.
Work.
So, it was the first time in a while where, I haven't pushed or filmed a Steelers video in a long, long time. So it was a nice little break. Now I got the ring on my finger here. I don't know if you guys can see it here, but, I just can't thank you guys enough for all the support and all the support from Ponzi and our team here at Chat Sports for keeping this channel afloat here while I was indisposed there for a few days. But Bernard, our favorite here of the two, says, happy for you, Jack. I appreciate you, Bernard. Another 5 from Bernard says, I feel like a lot of Steelers fans blame Rodgers for the offense last year. Am I wrong? No, I think, just the way fans tend to think, is the quarterback is as good as the offense is, right? And the Steelers' offense wasn't great. It was the best it's been in a long time, but it still wasn't good enough to win in the playoffs, right? And it definitely wasn't good enough to go up against that excellent Houston Texans defense and survive, right? So people said, the offense wasn't good enough last year, therefore the quarterback's not good enough. We have to get rid of Aaron Rodgers. But as we've discussed on this channel kind of ad nauseum, it's not just the quarterback, right? The quarterback plays a big part in it, probably the biggest part out of anybody on the field, but that doesn't mean it's the only component, right? And it's really tough, especially when you have a non-mobile quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, whose strengths are arm talent, being able to pre- and post-snap, mentally process things and all those different things, and accuracy, and, kind of being that technician, that surgeon, that, maybe game manager type, if you will. If you don't have players that can get open for him, it's going to be very difficult, especially to hold the ball, right? Like, you have to get rid of the football quickly. That's the better way to do things if you don't have receivers that consistently get open for you. And that's exactly what we saw from the Steelers' passing game last year. The run game was actually pretty good. I will say, the one thing that I do blame Rodgers for is that he was kind of the last line of defense, and he would make the final decision on what the play call was. And the Steelers were one of the heavier passing teams in the league, despite not having a lot of good passing weapons. But they were in the top 10 in both EPA per rush and success rate in the run game, and they didn't run the football all that much. Like, that was probably my biggest bugaboo with Rodgers last year, is that he wanted the ball in his hands too much. And, it really did hurt the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, in my opinion. So hopefully this year, Mike McCarthy can get him to maybe hand the ball off a little bit more, especially if it's working. But then the passing game should be better this year because of the improved weapons and hopefully scheme around Rodgers.
And I really do view Rodgers' success with the Steelers in kind of a game manager role this year, especially more so can he push the ball down the field? We've seen at times last year where he was able to push the ball down the field. They had like a month drought where they didn't have a pass completed more than 50 yards. And it was just a long, winded, weird way of the Arthur Smith offense to just get your playmakers in space. But now what I'm looking forward to is that he has deep weapons. He has those guys. So he should be able to use them. If we see the check down merchant that we see in Rodgers, I think this team is going to be very limited in their offensive approach.
Yeah, like if Rodgers plays the same exact way he did last year and there's no growth in terms of the amount you're throwing the ball down the field and the efficiency when you do throw the ball down the field, like it's going to be the same offense as last year essentially, right? Like you're hoping that the growth in this offense comes in the deep passing game and in the intermediate passing game because you actually have the weapons to trust to throw the ball down the field. But if that doesn't happen, obviously, defenses are going to be able to pin their ears back, play press, and take away those kind of short passes that Rodgers obviously loves. So Rodgers, in this offense needs to keep defenses honest, okay? So I think that it's a very realistic expectation that they could do that this year. I think we will see Rodgers hold the ball longer this year and throw the ball down the field more often because I think that we have the players to do that this year. We didn't last year. We do this year. So I'm looking forward to it. Big shout out to Cassie's maid of honor and her sister, by the way, my best friend, Emma Voth, who's watching with us in Minnesota. Cassie's still in Minnesota, by the way. She's driving back home tomorrow. We have a lot of stuff. So she has a minivan that she
a whole van picked and stuff. Got to get a U-Haul
that she rented, and she's going to be driving our dog Rosie and all that stuff that we got for our wedding back home here. So big shout out to those guys. $2 from Fluffy, who says, congratulations, Jack and Cassie. Appreciate you, Fluffy. Thank you so much. $5 from Bernard says, I hear some Steelers fans want to trade A-Rod for Baker right now. LOL. Won't happen because, obviously, Baker is younger, and I think the Steelers love Aaron Rodgers, all right? I think that they think Aaron Rodgers is the guy that can help them win a Super Bowl this year. Now, will he? We'll see. I think a lot of stuff has to go right around Aaron Rodgers for that to be a possibility. But yeah, the Buccaneers are not going to give up Baker Mayfield, who they might still extend to a long-term contract. He might still be their long-term answer at quarterback for somebody that's just going to play 1 year and doesn't have any experience playing in that offense and with the players. That's just not something that's a realistic possibility, okay? But as we'll talk about in our first segment, getting Baker next offseason is definitely a possibility. $5 from Meximander says, can't wait for the NFL season. The Steelers on offense and with an elite defense, they have a chance. Yes, if the defense can be elite this year, all right? And listen, man, it's tough to do, okay? It's tough to be elite at anything in the National Football League. Let alone be one of the 2 or 3 best defenses in the National Football League. But I can't stress enough how important being that good of a defense is if the Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl. Because Aaron Rodgers, even though I do think there's a lot of good things about his game, he is a limited quarterback at this point in his career. So there are things that he can't do, right? Especially in the out-of-structure playmaking realm, all right? But if your defense is top 3 in the world, if not the best in the game, and by the way, I do think this team has enough talent on the defense this year to be able to accomplish that, especially now you bring in a guy that, a bunch of people are calling a genius inside the Steelers building, and Patrick Graham, the new defensive coordinator. If he lives up to the billing here, and then the offense can just be good, top 10 level good, then yes, you have a team that could beat anybody in the National Football League. And, we've seen kind of that kind of strategy play out well for the last 2 teams that have won Super Bowls, Ponzi. The Seattle Seahawks were led by their defense last year, not their offense, and the Philadelphia Eagles 2 years ago were the same exact way. Sam Darnold, good quarterback, not an elite quarterback, all right? You got Jalen Hurts, good quarterback, not an elite quarterback. Hopefully the Steelers this year can have an elite defense and have a good, but probably not elite quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, and that can give them a chance when they get to January. $2 from Robert Locke says, Jack's hairline recede this week. No, it did not. It did not. I just have the gel in there, right? So I just
maybe from the stress? I don't know.
No. Nothing receded, all right? We're not having any of those talks, Robert Locke. I'm only 27, for Christ's sake. $2 from Meximander says, will you be watching the World Cup? Certainly, I will be. They've actually got some games
here in Dallas.
So
traffic is crazy.
So yeah, it's nuts, man. I'm telling you. $2. Good thing I only live 2 minutes away from the office.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, $2 from David says, congrats on your wedding. Appreciate you, David. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Is that it?
Yep.
All right, great. Well, before we get into our first segment here, guys, if you want to help support the show, I would greatly appreciate if you guys go out and get one of our mullet mugs that we call them here on Steelers Talk. We got the Jennings Dunker mullet and mustache combination. $13.49 on our website at chatsports.com/mullet. That link is being put down there in the live chat room for you guys to make a purchase. Steelers if you want one. And, of course, you got the Jennings Dunker mullet and mustache combination on one side with the Steelers Talk logo on the other. So if you're looking for a cool mug to drink your morning coffee in on Steelers game days this year while you watch Steelers Talk live shows, whatever, you guys can go to chatsports.com/mullet and pick yours up today. All right, so let's get right into our first segment of the day here. Should the Pittsburgh Steelers sign Baker Mayfield next year? I'm going to answer that question. My answer might surprise some people out there. But then after that, we'll get into Pittsburgh's cap situation and kind of the update on that. Where do the Steelers sit money-wise right now? Then we'll talk about Eli Heidenreich out of Navy and our latest rookie player profile. And then we get into our latest Madden sim. So if you don't want to miss any of that, make sure you guys stick around. Without further ado, let's get into our first segment of the day. Baker Mayfield. Is he the next Pittsburgh Steelers QB1? Welcome into Steelers Talk by Chat Sports, presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. And on today's show, I'm going to be answering the question, should the Pittsburgh Steelers try and sign quarterback Baker Mayfield next offseason? The former Oklahoma Sooner and Heisman Trophy winner is set to be a free agent next year. So I'll be kind of breaking down his profile and whether or not the Steelers should be interested in him at least a year removed from NFL free agency next March. Now, before we get into the content here, I do want to kind of let you guys know that Saturday, me and Cassie did get married up in Minnesota. Here's a lovely photo of us together with our dog Rosie after the ceremony. And I told her that if we can get 2,000 likes today, I'm going to take her out for a really beautiful birthday dinner. Her birthday's coming up here on Monday, and I'm going to take her out for a good dinner, but I'm going to take her to the most expensive steakhouse in Dallas here if we can get to 2,000 likes today. So if you want to upgrade Cassie's birthday dinner here, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon. Greatly appreciate your guys' support. But now let's get into Baker Mayfield here, guys, who has expressed some skepticism here lately about his future with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He is slated to be a free agent in 2027. This is what Baker had to say about his current contract situation last week. Contract stuff is happening. It's starting, the talks and whatnot, but not anywhere close to what we were thinking. So would love to be here long term, and as of right now, that's not exactly the case. But I'm under contract for 2026, and the guys and the staff in that room know I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to do everything I can to help this team win a Super Bowl, and to me, that's the priority. Everything else will take care of itself. Obviously, yes, I would love to have a long-term deal done, but they know my deadline is as soon as training camp starts. We're not doing any contract stuff. It's all ball. It's not up to me when it gets done by, so hopefully it gets done before training camp, but if not, we're still going to have a good year. And after Baker said this last week, a lot of people on Steelers Twitter have taken to social media and have now been advocating for the Pittsburgh Steelers to pursue Baker to be their next QB1 when he becomes available as a free agent next spring. Now, personally, guys, this might surprise some people, but I am a little bit skeptical of spending big money on Baker Mayfield. I mean, you heard him say it himself, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whatever they're offering him right now, it's nowhere close to what he wants. So he's clearly looking for a big-time contract here, and I'm personally pretty skeptical of that. I'm going to lay out my reasons for that here in just a second, but first I want to tell you about our presenting sponsor here on Steelers Talk, which is Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. The finals are now in full swing, and the World Cup is right around the corner, and I'm going to be putting in a Prize Picks lineup for every single game of Spurs versus Knicks this year. Been really enjoying the finals so far, and the app is super easy to use, guys. You just pick more than or less than on a few player stats and then lock in your lineup. And for the upcoming World Cup here, they are having a max discount here for Cesar Montes, the player for Mexico here. So if you guys want to get in a lineup here, this is the one that I'm rocking with. I'm taking the more on Fernandez, the more on Mbappe, and the more on Messi. So you guys can get your lineups in right now and join the fun, whether it's the World Cup, the finals, whatever the case may be. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with our friends at Prize Picks. Click the link in the comments and description to download the app today. And a big thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's edition of Steelers Talk. Now, first things first, I'm not sure if the Pittsburgh Steelers can really afford Baker Mayfield, okay? Baker is very much a win now type of quarterback, and it's going to be very difficult to acquire Baker via free agency and outbid the other quarterback needy teams that are looking to add him while also maintaining a win now roster. I mean, the current salary cap that the Pittsburgh Steelers have for this year is $5.8 million. And then when you get to 2027, that cap space goes down to a little bit, less than $3 million. So they're going to have to definitely maneuver some things here. And obviously that isn't even counting the future extensions for Joey Porter Jr. and Keanu Benton, right? We've heard that the Steelers are trying to extend both of these guys. And right now they only have about $2.8 million in cap space for 2027. Once these extensions get done, you're going to be in the red heading into next offseason. So you're just not going to have a lot of cap space to work with to sign Baker Mayfield, let alone like one of the highest paid quarterbacks in football, which it sounds like he's looking to get. So in order to get Baker, you would have to trade and or cut a bunch of their starters, all right? Like TJ Watt would have to go. Patrick Queen is obviously a free agent, right? Cam Hayward would have to go. Jalen Ramsey would have to go. Jamel Dean would have to go. Like a bunch of these players would have to go. One of DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr. probably has to go, right? To get the $50+ million that you would need to sign Baker Mayfield, there would have to be multiple Steelers veterans that would have to be axed in order for that to be possible. And I think right now what's the most likely, and what the Steelers are certainly setting themselves up for in 2027, is that their QB1 is going to be cost effective, whether it's Drew Aller or Will Howard, who are obviously on very cost effective rookie contracts, or whether it is a cost effective veteran like something similar to an Aaron Rodgers next year, or a first round pick. That's certainly a possibility as well. I do think that the Pittsburgh Steelers will once again go with a cost effective option at quarterback next year, as opposed to paying 50+ or whatever million it's going to take to bring in Baker Mayfield. But second of all, I'm not really sure Baker is worth that kind of contract. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, I think Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback. I'm not sure if he is a great or an elite NFL quarterback that's capable of elevating the players around him. I think he's more of a trailer as opposed to a tractor, so to speak, where I think if you put good coaching and good players around him, he could be good. But just last year, man, we talk about Aaron Rodgers not being good enough last year. When you compare his numbers to Baker Mayfield, he was better than him in a number of key categories. Had a higher percentage of touchdown passes, had a higher passer rating. He had a higher completion percentage over expected last year, right? Baker beats him out in a couple of areas, the yards per attempt and adjusted EPA per play, but it's not by that much. Like, is Baker worth $50 million a season to bring in that kind of quarterback? I'm not too sure, man. Then you look at the big time and turnover-worthy throws from last year. Baker Mayfield was ranked 12th in big time throws. Aaron Rodgers ranked 18th. So it's not a huge difference. But then you look at the turnover-worthy plays. Baker Mayfield was 31st in the league, and Aaron Rodgers was only 7th. So actually, the differential between those two, Rodgers was actually better at managing, the big time throws with the turnover-worthy plays. And then when you look at the downfield efficiency, Aaron Rodgers was actually a more efficient downfield passer than Baker Mayfield was last year on a per throw basis. Obviously, Baker threw the ball downfield more often than Aaron Rodgers did, but he wasn't a very efficient downfield thrower when he did so. You look at the way that these two guys manage pressure as well. Aaron Rodgers was one of the best in football at managing pressure, all right? Like, he was first in both pressure percentage, so has the lowest pressure percentage in the league, and then he was also first in average time to throw. Whereas Baker, he ranked 10th in pressure percentage, so he was still protected pretty darn well, even though he ranked 19th in average time to throw. The differential there is pretty large. Baker Mayfield was 26th in the league. Aaron Rodgers was 15th, okay? So if you want to talk about managing the pocket, managing pressure, not taking too many sacks, Aaron Rodgers has Baker Mayfield beaten that category as well. Now, one thing that I will say that Baker certainly outperformed Rodgers in last year was when these guys were pressured. Now, Baker was just around league average. He was 17th in the league in EPA per throw when he was pressured. Aaron was second to last best among starters last year. Okay, so when things go awry and the quarterback has to make something happen off schedule, Baker is better than Aaron Rodgers at this point. But we also have to remember that Baker had much better weapons last year than Aaron Rodgers, and Rodgers outperformed Baker in many of those main categories that we just talked about. And with Aaron Rodgers getting better weapons this year, it's definitely possible that Aaron Rodgers could outperform Baker Mayfield this year, in my opinion, depending on how things go with the new situation there in Tampa with Mike Evans leaving. Emeka Egbuka is now fully healthy again. I still think Baker is a good quarterback. I don't want it to get twisted, but completely cut all the veterans on your team to sign him to a $50 million level contract level good? I'm not too sure, guys. But you guys make the call for me down there in the comment section. Would you sign Baker Mayfield for a $50+ million per season contract next offseason? Is Baker Mayfield worth the money? Give me a yes or a no down there in the comment section. For me, I'm definitely skeptical. Right now, I would have to say no to this question, but let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. And that'll be it for today's edition of Steelers News and Rumors, brought to you by Chat Sports. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. And if you guys want more in-depth Steelers content like this every single day all throughout the offseason leading into the 2026 NFL season, make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers. All right, first segment in the books here, my friends. If you got any questions about the Baker Mayfield situation, feel free to super chat. But coming up next year, we're going to take a deeper dive here into Pittsburgh's cap situation next year, okay, and or this year and next year, I should say, and kind of break down how the Nick Herbig and Darnell Washington extensions have kind of affected the Steelers' cap and how it might affect potential extensions for Joey Porter Jr. and Keanu Benton. So I know there's been a lot of people throwing me a bunch of questions around the salary cap because it's very confusing, Ponzi. So we're going to answer those questions for you guys coming up here. And, of course, make sure you super chat any questions that you have about that previous segment or anything like that. But before we get into our next segment here, David coming in with a 10. He says, do you see the Steelers going all in to trade up into the top 3 for a QB next year? It all depends on how they feel about Drew Aller, Will Howard, and how they feel about the quarterbacks in next year's class, right? And it also kind of depends on what kind of draft capital they're able to get. Like if Mike Tomlin, for example, comes back to coaching next year, you're probably going to get a first-round pick in exchange for him, right? That's going to help a lot to trade up for a quarterback. But listen, man, I expect this team to be good this year. I expect them to be in at least the 20s once again in terms of where they're going to be drafting. So to trade up into the top 3, you'd probably have to give up your first rounder this year, the Mike Tomlin first round pick this year, and your first round pick next in the following year in 2028, which is a lot, right? But for the right quarterback, it could be worth it, right? If you have an opportunity to get Arch Manning, or if Dante Moore has an awesome season, you have a chance to get him. Or, one of these number of other quarterbacks that could break out this season in college football. If you have an opportunity to get like a Drake May level guy at number 3 overall, it's a possibility, all right? It's a possibility. Now, I think what's more likely is they're probably going to start Drew Aller next year, all right? There's worlds where Will Howard could get the opportunity. There's worlds where, they could draft a quarterback in the 20s, kind of like the Giants did with Jackson Dart. There's still a lot of different possibilities that are on the table in terms of who the starting quarterback is going to be for Pittsburgh next year. But because of the way that their cap is setting up here, it's definitely pointing to a cost-effective option, right? They're not going to trade for Matthew Stafford next year or something like that, right? They're not going to, sign Baker Mayfield, for example, unless they severely backload his contract, all right? Like, they're probably going to go with either Will Howard or Drew Aller, a first-round pick, or a cost-effective veteran in free agency. I think the veteran option is by far the least likely. I think, right now Drew Aller is probably the betting favorite to be the starting quarterback of this team in 2027. Will Howard is probably number 2. First-round rookie is probably number 3, and then cost-effective veteran is probably number 4. And that includes Aaron Rodgers, by the way. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think it's impossible he could come back for another season if the Steelers get close to a Super Bowl this year and he plays well. But I certainly think right now Drew Aller is the one being groomed to be the next starting quarterback of this team, and they're going to see what they have in him next year. And if it doesn't work out, you draft a quarterback in 2028 in the first round. I think that's the plan right now, David. Guess we'll see how everything plays out as the season goes on. $5 from Bernard. Says, I hate when people say A-Rod underachieved. because he won one Super Bowl? Do people say Breeze underachieved because he won one Super Bowl? No, so why Rodgers? I think people do say that about Breeze. I mean, whenever you just win one Super Bowl, people just kind of say, oh, yeah, that was just a fluke, right? Like, there's a reason why when you win a Super Bowl or you win a championship and you have a young core, it's important to win it again because, that really solidifies that group, as a legitimate, big piece of the game's history, right? So I don't know, man. I think that this happened to Favre. This happens to Breeze, right? People talk about Dan Marino never winning a Super Bowl, right? So I think it's just something where if you only win one, people are going to call it a fluke, and that's just kind of the way people go about it. And, there's nothing that people can really do about it. It's nothing Rodgers can do about it except win again, right? So hopefully he can get that second one to finish out his career. $5 from Bernard says Adam Thielen said A-Rod treats every practice like the Super Bowl. Yes, he does. Thielen was very, very glowing of Aaron Rodgers in the way that he prepared for games. And frankly, it's not just Adam Thielen. It's the rest of the Steelers locker room. All right. There's a reason why this entire team, not the coaches, not the front office, the players wanted him back. All right. And I'm pretty sure NFL football players, an entire locker room of NFL football players, know good quarterback play when they see it. And they saw it from Aaron Rodgers last year. All right. Now, obviously, this offense was limited because, in my opinion, the lack of receiving weapons mixed with the tendency to want to pass the ball over running the football. Rodgers is one of those guys that wants the ball in his hands all the time. But, Aaron Rodgers still can play, man. He can still spin it. I mean, at OTAs last week, or minicamp, he threw a 70-yard air yard throw to Roman Wilson for a touchdown. The reports were it went at least 70 yards. As a 42-year-old quarterback, that is not the issue with Aaron Rodgers. And for people like, who was it? Bill Barnwell, who said that he'd rather have Joe Flacco or Kirk Cousins this year as his starting quarterback. Those guys cannot do that. Are you kidding me? Kirk Cousins can barely throw it 30 yards at this point. So, listen, man, I think Rodgers is very good for the culture. All right, he is a culture leader. He is a culture setter. And when you have a new coaching staff and a new head coach coming in, Aaron Rodgers' presence as a culture setter here in year one of the Mike McCarthy era is invaluable. Invaluable. Even if he's limited as a quarterback, even if the Steelers are limited as a team this year, you're going to set that winning culture with him leading the way, which is very, very important. All right, well, let's get into our next segment here, guys. Very fun segment. Very analytical segment, but hopefully a very helpful segment here, okay? I've been getting a lot of questions about what the cap situation is here in Pittsburgh after the Nick Herbig and Darnell Washington extensions. Do we have enough money for JPJ? Do we have enough money for Keanu Benton? What does it look like? I'm going to answer those questions here. After that, we'll get into our scouting report of 7th-round rookie running back Eli Heidenreich, and then, of course, we have our Madden sim coming up later in the show. So without further ado, yeah, blocker. Yeah, my bad. Good catch. All right. Now we are ready to get into our second segment here. Let's talk some money here, folks. Pittsburgh's cap situation update is coming at you guys right now. Welcome into Steelers Talk by Chat Sports, presented by Prize Picks. And I'm hoping that today's video is a little helpful for you guys because obviously the NFL cap can be quite confusing, especially, when you see that the Steelers only have a little bit of cap space, but then they make two massive extensions. How can the Steelers do that? Do they have more room for Joey Porter Jr. and Keanu Benton? I'm going to be answering all the questions that you guys have surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers cap situation on today's edition of Steelers Talk by Chat Sports, presented by Prize Picks. But before we get into it, we actually had breaking news coverage of the big extensions that the Steelers had during mandatory minicamp last week. Of course, Nick Herbig getting that 4-year, $100 million deal. Have that video up on the channel. And then, of course, Darnell Washington getting his $42 million extension over 4 years as well. Put both of those videos out as soon as we possibly could. So if you guys want our breaking news coverage when the Joey Porter Jr. deal comes down, when the Keanu Benton deal comes down, if we have any other signings or trades throughout the course of the offseason, we're going to make sure to get you guys breaking news coverage on this show. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button to never miss a moment. So right now, Pittsburgh has approximately $5.8 million and change in cap space for the 2026 season. Okay, the way that, the salary cap kind of breaks down for Pittsburgh this year, this is actually from an article from Alan Saunders from Steelers Now, by the way, so if you guys want to check out those figures, feel free to go check out that article, but this is the way that it kind of breaks down, okay? The NFL salary cap this year is set at just over $301 million, okay? The Steelers also have about $17 million rolling over from the 2025 cap over to this season, and then the NFL is rewarding the Steelers an adjustment of just over $3.6 million. So when you add all that up, the Steelers team salary cap this year is $321,760,000, and then you've got $72 on top of that. So that is how much money the Pittsburgh Steelers have to spend on players this year. Okay, and the way that the money that they currently are spending right now breaks down is over $302 million of that are on their top 51 salaries. So that is the top 51 players on their roster. And then the dead cap charges from last year's players that are no longer with this team is just over $12.2 million. And then sub 51 bonuses, you get over a little bit over $250K, and then the injured reserve players are just over $500K. Again, all these numbers are from that article that Alan Saunders wrote over the weekend. But the current salary cap space that the Pittsburgh Steelers have is $5.8 million and change, okay? When you take into account the number that the Steelers have, and then you take the number of expenses, the Steelers have a little bit over $5.8 million left to spend this year. However, this is kind of the tricky part of the NFL salary cap, the team isn't done spending cap dollars yet, all right? These charges continue to pile on as the offseason goes on heading into this season, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have to account for this. We're going to let you guys know the other expenses that the Pittsburgh Steelers still need to make before the start of the season and how much cap space they really project to truly have heading into this year here in just a second. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor today at Prize Picks, which is America's #1 sports picks app. The finals are now in full swing, and I'm going to be putting in a Prize Picks lineup for every game of Spurs versus Knicks this year. The app is super easy to use. You just pick more than or less than on a few player stat projections and then lock in your lineup. You can even look ahead to next year's football season, like this Prize Picks projection that I have, taking the more on Aaron Rodgers passing yards, the more on DK Metcalf receiving touchdowns, and the more on interceptions for Carson Schlesinger. This is what's called a power play on the Prize Picks app, so you have to get all three of these correct to cash in, but if you do so, you walk away with more winnings. So this particular projection, you can put in a $20 entry fee and get $105 back in winnings if you get all three correct. So download the Prize Picks app today to join the fun and use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with Prize Picks. Click the link in the comments and description to download the app, and a big thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring Steelers Talk. Now, there are certainly expenses, like I mentioned here, guys, that the Steelers are expected to have to, pay out. Workout bonuses for any players that they bring in on workouts here. Also, they have the top 51 players right now. They're going to have to add a 52nd and 53rd player to their active roster by the end of the preseason, heading into the regular season. They still have to sign rookie quarterback Drew Aller, who's apparently looking for some more money at this point, and then also practice squad players. And the estimated cost of that is going to be just below $5.5 million. All right, and again, that is from that estimate is coming from Alan Saunders' article here. So that would give Pittsburgh a small in-season buffer here of about $350K. That is usually not enough. All right, the Steelers, if they want to make any moves in free agency or trade a player maybe around the trade deadline, they got to make more space if they want to be able to do that. Not to mention, this isn't even counting the future extensions that we are expecting to come down here as the offseason continues here with Joey Porter Jr. and Keanu Benton. So there are ways to kind of maneuver this here. We can start with the players that the Steelers can still restructure. Now, they did already restructure Pat Freiermuth's deal, the tight end, okay, but these are, the 6 other players where it makes some sense to restructure their deals. TJ Watt, I would recommend not restructuring him just because you might be looking to move off of him if he continues to regress physically. You don't want to move that money later on in his contract. DK Metcalf, maybe you think about restructuring him. You could save quite a bit if you do so. Alex Highsmith is another one, but if you're planning on trading him next year, that doesn't make a ton of sense. Jaylen Warren, you could save about $2 million. Jalen Ramsey, you could convert his roster bonus into a signing bonus, which would save about $1.3 million, and then Deshaun Elliott you could save about $1.3 if you restructure his deal as well. And for me, guys, if I'm the Steelers, I would restructure Jaylen Warren, Jalen Ramsey, and Deshaun Elliott. You'd save about $4.5 million in cap space, and that would give this team plenty of buffer heading into the season. If they want to make a low-level signing, fine. If you want to make a trade, it's definitely workable, okay? And, these are three players that I expect to still be on this team for a little bit here, and, the money that you're saving isn't necessarily going to hurt you if you end up, cutting them in the years to come or trading them in the years to come. But the question here, guys, is how does this affect the potential extensions of Joey Porter Jr. and Keanu Benton, right? Because the Steelers have really no money left this year, but, they can definitely backload some of that money into future years, just like they did with the Nick Herbig deal and just like they did with the Darnell Washington deal. And, yes, Pittsburgh can still get both of those extensions done. The way that the Pittsburgh Steelers usually structure their extensions is, the last year of the rookie deal largely stays the same, and then the money kicks in the following year. All right, so with Pittsburgh structuring these extensions that way, the kind of big money cap charges on Darnell and Nick Herbig and Joey Porter Jr. and potentially Keanu Benton won't be kicking in until next year's math, not this year's, okay? But the bigger issue here is finding enough money in 2027 and beyond. It's not really an issue of 2026. It's more of an issue of 2027 at this point, because as we stand here today, the Pittsburgh Steelers actually have less cap space for the 2027 season than they do for the 2026 season. As difficult as that is to believe, with the Nick Herbig deal, spiking, and with the Darnell Washington deal spiking, right now you only have about $2.9 million in cap space for 2027. If you add on top of that big dollar contracts and big dollar cap charges for both Joey Porter Jr. and Keanu Benton, you'd start getting into the red pretty quickly here if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if Pittsburgh does another extension, man, you're going to have to, maneuver some things around once we get into next offseason. It's probably going to limit the amount that they can actually spend in free agency next year and the kinds of trades that they could potentially pull off next offseason as well. But if they extend both Joey Porter Jr. and Benton, they'll really be in the red, right? So it'll be interesting to see what kind of decisions they make. Do they hold off on a Keanu Benton deal to make sure they get the Joey Porter Jr. deal done? We'll have to see on that. My prediction is the Steelers will get both of these guys' deals done by the end of the offseason, but expect some big moves from the cap perspective next offseason to get back in the black. But Pittsburgh will have to unload a lot of money next offseason, no matter what, essentially. And, there's a number of ways that they can do that. It's very manageable. There's a lot of ways that you can do that. The easiest way to do that is to trade Alex Highsmith. And we've been talking about how I think the Steelers' plan all along was to keep Watt, Highsmith, and Herbig for one more season, then probably trade Highsmith next offseason. I mean, if you do so, you save a very solid $15.5 million against the cap by doing that. Plus, you get a nice draft pick to continue to inject this team with more young talent. And then also another possibility here is that Cam Hayward could retire. That would give you an additional $16 million against the cap. So just those two things alone get you over $30 million of additional cap space, which should at least help pay for the Joey Porter Jr. extension. But with that said, Pittsburgh will likely need to create even more space because, like I said, I think they will get the Joey Porter Jr. and Keanu Benton deals done. I think they get both of those deals done, so that means $31.5 million, whatever it would be, for those two moves to be made. It's probably not going to be enough for the Pittsburgh Steelers to afford both of these new contract extensions. So what can you do? You can cut some more players. DK Metcalf, if you cut him post June 1st and give him that designation, you can save $26.5 million against the cap next year. Now, I think DK is going to have a bounce back season this year, but if he underperforms, you could certainly think about doing that. Michael Pittman Jr., he's been getting older. Let's say Roman Wilson and Jeremy Bernard both have breakout seasons, and you really need that $18.5 million. You could cut him with a post-June 1st designation. Again, if you just straight up cut Cam Cam Hayward. He's not retiring, but he wants out. You could cut him for $16 million. You could still save that $16 million. Jamel Dean, you could save $12 million if you put a post-June 1st designation on him. And Pat Freiermuth, you could save $10 million if you do the same on his contract. And some other kind of lower money cut candidates here. Rico Dowdle, let's say Caleb Johnson plays well this year, and Rico, there's not much of a fit for him anymore. You could save $6 million by letting him go. Deshaun Elliott, you could save a little bit over $4 million if you get rid of him. Cole Holcomb, 2.5. Jalen Ramsey, 2.2. And then Roman Wilson with 1.5 as some additional options there. But restructures are another possibility next year as well, guys. They're a possibility in every offseason, and you can definitely move some money around to, get some more cap space for this team heading into 2027 to afford these new extensions for Joey Porter Jr. and Keanu Benton. Like if you restructure DK Metcalf's deal, you could save over 16. TJ Watt, another opportunity there. Nick Herbig, you could restructure his contract. I actually think he's a pretty good restructure candidate next year. You could save up to $15 million. If you want to keep Michael Pittman Jr., but you maybe save some money, $8.6 million for him. And some of the lower numbered, kind of restructure possibilities here. Darnell Washington, Jamel Dean, Pat Freiermuth, and Chris Boswell could also save you at least $2 million if you restructure their deals next year. But for me, guys, I think Joey Porter Jr.'s extension should for sure get done. I'm not necessarily sure what the money is going to look like for him. Apparently, he's looking for $30 million this season, and he wants to get paid like Sauce Gardner and Derek Stingley Jr. Not sure if he has the production to back up that ask. I think it's probably going to be more like $27 or $28 million per season, which I think is fair for a player that is as shut down as JPJ is in man coverage. But I think that deal will for sure get done. The Steelers believe in him. But Keanu Benton might be a little bit more tricky. We'll see if his deal ends up getting done. We have heard from Alan Saunders and others that the Steelers are in active negotiations with Benton's representation, trying to get this deal done. But in my opinion, guys, if you can only sign one of them, if you only feel comfortable signing one of them, sign Joey Porter Jr. to that extension, all right? Yes, he'll be more expensive, but I think he's done more in this league. He's more established. And although I would love to keep Keanu Benton and lock him up long-term, especially for the right price tag, I'm not signing him if it comes in the way of getting Joey Porter Jr.'s deal done this year. So who's next? Let me know down there in the comment section. Type JPJ for Joey Porter Jr. or type KB for Keanu Benton. For me, I would prioritize Joey Porter Jr., but my prediction is I actually think Keanu Benton's deal comes down before JPJ's. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section, and that'll be it for today's edition of Steelers Talk by Chat Sports. I know the salary cap can be very confusing, guys, but I'm hoping today's video helped you out a little bit. If it did, make sure you guys click that subscribe button to get our in-depth Steelers videos that we put out on this channel every single day, 100% free. All right, second segment in the books. Coming up next, we got one more segment before our Madden Sim, guys. It's going to be our latest rookie player profile of rookie running back, wide receiver hybrid out of Navy, Eli Heidenreich, the Pittsburgh native. Going to be talking about his pros, his cons, what I'm expecting from him. Now we can get to Bernard Nixon's super chat. Says, I don't care about the clowns. What he means there is the Browns. And said A-Rod is a bad teammate. They are not in the locker room. Yeah, who cares what they have to say? I mean, they have been the toilet of the AFC North for years. Literally called the Browns. Dude Wipes literally sponsors their team. All right, they are the toilet of the AFC North. They have been for years. They can't say shit. Look at their quarterback situation right now. It's the worst in the league.
Yeah.
It's not even close. Not even close. Shedeur Sanders sucks, was dead last in EPA per play last year among quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson sucks, was dead last in EPA per play 2 years ago. Those are their two starting quarterback options this year, so I don't want to hear anything from the Cleveland Browns. $2 from Matthew.
Wild one.
Says, are you and Ponzi friends with benefits?
Whoa.
JK, congrats, Jack. Yeah, no. We are definitely friends, but definitely not the benefits you're thinking of there, Matthew. $10 from Marco Mann says, if Benton wants an unreasonable amount, would you prefer to trade him for an impact player or let him walk, get the comp pick, a true free safety like Jesse Bates or a starting guard, for example? I'd probably just let him walk.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
get a comp pick for him.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, I know Benton's a good player for us, but like, are we going to be paying him like that good money when it's like, even then, sometimes he's just been kind of a rotational piece.
Well, listen, man, just with his production to this point, it's not worth a top 10 level contract.
Yeah,
So, listen, if he's willing to take a deal where it's commensurate to what he's done on the field to this point, I would do it because, here's the thing, man. The production that he's had so far is what he's gotten being miscasted, all right? So you have an opportunity here to steal Keanu Benton for an ultimate value because if you sign him to what he's worth right now, which is, I'd say, $15 million a season, maybe a little bit more than that. If you sign him to that, and then he explodes into this amazing, impactful, penetrative, impact guy that's getting TFLs and sacks and is getting after the quarterback. Because now he doesn't have to play nose tackle anymore, which is a godsend for him. He was never a nose tackle, man. He was always going to be, that 3-tech, 5-tech type that gets into the backfield, shoots gaps, gets TFLs, gets sacks. And Mike Tomlin asked him to take on double teams, to 2-gap. And his anchor sucks. He was a big reason why this run defense was a big problem, right? So if you sign him to the right contract, he could absolutely be worth it. But if he's asking to get top 10 or even top 20 level money at this point, I'd rather just play this year out, see what he does, and if he's worth the contract next year, sign him to a contract, right? Yeah. You can sign him before any other team, right? You have that right to re-sign him before he hits the free agency market. So for me, I don't think he's proven enough unless he's willing to take a lower contract, and if he is, here you go, Keanu, sign on the dotted line. I think he's a very good player for what he is, but he's got his weaknesses, and you can't take that big of a risk signing him to a big level contract. He might end up being worth it, but I am not comfortable making that kind of investment in somebody that hasn't proven it on the field. You know what I'm saying? So, and at worst comes to worst, he leaves next year. He signs a pretty big contract somewhere else. You get a comp pick for him. And you replace him in the draft, right? It really wouldn't be that
honestly,
hard.
And I hate to say, because Keanu Benton's been a fine player, I'm not losing sleep over extending him.
Yeah, no. Joey Porter Jr. is my priority
I'm losing sleep if I don't get JPJ back.
100%. Oh, baby, this one's rolling in from Steelers dead bang! Here we go, Steelers, here we go. Let's go, man. Steelers dad with a $50 super chat says, sorry, I am late to the program. Congratulations on marriage. Cool shirt. Appreciate your coverage and hard work. Thanks, man.
It really is a cool shirt.
Thanks, man. I actually got this. So I got my Tux rentals from Men's Warehouse, right? And
Same.
if you do that, they give you a $250 store credit.
I did not get this deal. Oh, it was the package deal, wasn't it?
Yep.
Wow.
So so we went to return the Tuxes this weekend, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna ball out a little bit. I got some nice shirts. I'll probably be wearing them on the show here. Looking forward to showing you guys. This was one of my favorites, man. I liked it.
You look like a professional bowler.
I mean, I guess I appreciate the compliment. I've gotten professional bowler and Charlie Sheen from 2.5 Men.
I see that
today.
too.
So I guess I'll take those as compliments. All right, is that the final one that we got there? Yes? Okay, great. All right, let's get into our next segment here, guys. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next, coming up after our next segment, we've got our latest Madden sim. 4-2 Pittsburgh Steelers taking on Tyler Shuck and the Saints in Paris. But first, let's talk about a very interesting player that's very polarizing in Steelers Nation, Eli Heidenreich, 7th-round rookie running back, wide receiver, hybrid out of Navy. Will he end up making the Steelers roster? I'm going to give you my answer here in just a second. Without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome into Steelers Talk by Chat Sports, presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and today it's time to meet Steelers rookie running back / wide receiver hybrid out of Navy, Eli Heidenreich. And make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon to welcome Eli back home. He is actually a Pittsburgh native, seeing his dream come true. Of course, he took the stage there in Pittsburgh on day 3. It was really a great moment. Just graduated from the Naval Academy as well. So really a high-class young man. I can't wait to see his journey here as we continue on with the offseason and as we get into the training camp and preseason here. He's going to be a fan favorite for sure. But let's start, as always, with our rookie player profiles here with the pros. First of all, he's a very well-built, fluid athlete, especially for his size, okay? He's 6 foot, 202 pounds, so he's not necessarily like the biggest back in the world, but he's well-built, and, he's very athletic as well. In fact, really what's gone viral with him is the comparison to Christian McCaffrey. And you guys can see on the graphic on your screen here that a lot of the testing numbers were very similar to C-Mac coming out of Stanford. And obviously, Christian McCaffrey has turned into a perennial offensive player of the year, one of the most dynamic offensive weapons in football. And I do think some people have kind of gotten carried away with this comparison because, to be 100% clear, Eli Heidenreich is not Christian McCaffrey, all right? And we're going to talk about some of the reasons why he's not Christian McCaffrey in the cons section. But listen, man, it is a similar build, similar level athlete, and whenever you can get a player like that with that athletic profile in the 7th round, I think it's a steal, all right? And I think that, Eli Heidenreich has a chance to make some waves here in Pittsburgh, earn himself a roster spot, and be a real player for the Pittsburgh Steelers here, whether that's as a running back, a receiver, or as some sort of a hybrid player. Definitely excited to see what he's going to be able to do here in Pittsburgh because he does bring a good athletic profile to the table. Now, continuing on here with the pros here, and really what the main thing with Heidenreich is that he's got an excellent receiving skill set for a running back. If he's going to play running back in the league, he's coming in already as one of the more skilled running backs in the league at this particular skill set. All right, he played a lot of actual wide receiver at Navy. So, he has a lot of the skills that you attribute, to wide receiver play, but only he's transitioning to running back. So he could really be a receiving weapon out of the backfield in passing situations. Really, he's an elite route runner for a running back, guys. He truly is, okay? He's somebody that you put him in the backfield and you ask a linebacker to cover this guy one-on-one, good freaking luck. This guy could be an absolute weapon in that regard, running Texas routes. He's actually like a good snappy route runner. A lot of running backs are not. He is, and he was one of the more dominant running backs I've ever seen at Shrine Bowl practices. When he was there this year, he would create yards of separation against these linebackers that were praying to God they could stay in the same vicinity as him, and pretty much nobody could. So, if you're asking, somebody to play one-on-one man coverage, especially a linebacker against this guy, it's not going to be pretty, and, Aaron Rodgers is going to have a pretty easy outlet moving forward. But along with that, guys, for a smaller guy, he's got excellent hands. I mean, you watch his highlight package, right? You're going to see a lot of tough catches on that film. All right, you're going to see him, mossing guys and, making some catches that he has no business making. So, in a tough situation, 3rd downs, that type of stuff, when you need a guy with reliable hands to throw the ball to, and maybe in some contested situations, he's going to be able to come in, make those catches. But he's also reliable too, man. Only 2 drops in his college career at Navy. Very, very reliable player as a receiver in that way. And like we talked about, the contested catch ability is absolutely there for him. So even if you're throwing maybe some contested balls to Eli Heidenreich, he's going to be able to come down with some really nice catches. And he's going to be a legitimate receiving threat, as I said. He really played mostly receiver at Navy. He did do some running back stuff with sweeps and stuff like that, but he wasn't really a true running back in college. So he is going to have to transition that skill set to the National Football League if he's going to play this position, especially on an every down role like Christian McCaffrey. But I think for now, he's going to be very much pegged as a passing down kind of receiving specialist at the running back position that you can also, be creative with motions and, lining him up in the slot at times, But coming up here, I'm going to be breaking down the cons, why I believe he's not Christian McCaffrey, and also lay out my year 1 expectations and kind of let you know, do I think this player makes the Steelers 53-man roster this year as a 7th round pick? But before we get into the rest of Eli Heidenreich's profile, profile here today. I want to tell you about our presenting sponsor here at Prize Picks, which is America's #1 sports picks app. The finals are now in full swing, guys, and I'm going to be putting in a Prize Picks lineup for every game of Spurs versus Knicks this year. The app is super easy to use. You just pick more than or less than on a few player stat projections, then lock in your lineup. You can even look ahead to next year's football season, like this Prize Picks projection where I'm taking the more on passing yards for quarterback Aaron Rodgers, the more on receiving touchdowns for receiver DK Metcalf, and the more on interceptions for linebacker Carson Schlesinger. With a power play here, you guys can win $105 on a $20 entry fee. So if you guys want to get in on the fun right now, download the Prize Picks app today. Use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive an extra $50 in lineups with Prize Picks. Click the link in the comments and description to download the app today. And a big thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's edition of Steelers Talk. Starting with the cons here, he does lack certain size and power, especially if you're going to be playing him on early downs. He is not somebody that necessarily plays with a power profile, which isn't necessarily, a dream killer or anything like that. He still can be a specific type of third down specialist in the league, even if you don't have the size and power to play on every downs. I mean, the thing about Christian McCaffrey that's so impressive is that he does kind of play with a little bit of a power profile, and he can break tackles and plays with great contact balance. He's got incredible lower body strength. That is not the same with Eli Heidenreich, in my opinion. And I will say, listen, man, the 4.44 40 time is very impressive for Heidenreich. I think he played slower than that on film. All right, I think that there were certainly instances where people were catching up to him and all these different things. I think he played more like a high 4.4s type of player, maybe even low 4.5s. He ended up running in the mid 4.4s, so that's good for him. I'm just saying that on film he did look slower than that to me. But then also there are some vision question marks as a rusher, just because when he was asked to play running back, it was like sweeps and wing T actions and all this different stuff that they do at Navy. It's a very weird offense. So if he's going to be a running back in a traditional NFL offense, he has some question marks he's going to have to answer. Now, if he comes into the league and he proves, hey, he's got great vision, then we can start talking about him as a legitimate, speed threat out of the backfield that can maybe get some carries. But for the time being, that is a major question mark. Also, I would say he has poor contact balance. Whenever he gets contacted the first time, he's going down. So he's not necessarily a make-you-miss type of guy, even though he's kind of more of like a shiftier, kind of smaller profile guy. He's not much of a make-you-miss type of guy, and he's not a type of guy that's going to run through arm tackles or anything like that. That's a big difference between him and Christian McCaffrey, in my opinion. And then he is a minus pass blocker. He just wasn't asked to do it all that much because he's so good as a receiver, and he's going to have to prove that he can be a pass protector at the NFL level, especially if he's going to get a lot of third down snaps. So in short, Eli Heidenreich has a lot to prove in the NFL as a running back. If that's what he's going to play in this league, he has to prove that he can play with good vision. He has to prove that he can pass protect and get that aspect of the game. We saw Caleb Johnson fail at that last year, but there's no questioning that this guy brings a legitimate receiving skill set to the running back position, and he can be used as a little bit of a kind of chess piece on offense for Mike McCarthy to kind of utilize. And my take on him, guys, is that he's going to project as an interesting kind of tweener type. Maybe he could play a little bit of slot receiver, be a backup slot, and running back just doesn't work out for him. But he's a very interesting Swiss Army knife type of player that if things go right for him and if he really puts his nose to the grindstone and he plays well in the preseason games, etc., could become a fan favorite and could sneak his way onto the 53-man roster. But listen, man, there's a chance Eli doesn't make the team. We have to acknowledge that because he is a 7th-round pick, and all the positions that he plays, the Steelers are kind of set at those given positions. At running back, you got Jaylen Warren and Rico Dowdle as your starters. Caleb Johnson, their 3rd-round pick last year, is their number 3 running back, and Travis Homer is going to make the team as a special team specialist. Are they really going to keep 5 running backs, especially when you keep in mind that they're going to be keeping Riley Nowakowski as a fullback? I mean, I don't know, man. That's the best I can say. Then the receiver position, he's at best like wide receiver 6, 7 if he ends up making the team. And then, even in the special teams, like that's really where he's going to have to really be an impact player and really, be good if he wants to make this team. And even then, like the spot that I would put him in is like return man. And guess what? We have Caden Weegan on the team. So there's just not a whole lot up for grabs for Eli Heidenreich. And, he's a player that maybe you don't want to let go of. And, as a Pittsburgh native and as a fan favorite, he's probably a guy that they would like to keep around. It's just there's not a whole lot of things for him to do. So, it's going to be up in the air. It's going to come up to whether or not Eli Heidenreich impresses in the preseason and in training camp, whether he can be a jack of all trades, all those different things, whether he can prove that he has good vision as a running back, if he can maybe show a little bit of contact balance and make some people miss, if he can prove himself as a pass protector, if he can do those things, maybe he's got a shot. But certainly it might be an uphill battle for Eli Heidenreich just because of where he was drafted, the players in front of him on the depth chart, but definitely an interesting player, no doubt about that. Now, predict it for me down there in the comment section. Will Eli Heidenreich make the Steelers roster this year? Give me a yes or no down there in the comment section. For me, I know for sure I am rooting for this kid. He's a great guy. Was ready to serve our country if football didn't work out for him. All those different things. Pittsburgh native, and he is a very interesting player, and he's got some really, really good things about his game. It's just going to be interesting to see here if he can carve himself out a role by the time we get to week 1. All right, that'll be it for today's show here. Of course, make sure you check out the rest of our rookie player profile series where we've got player profiles and scouting reports on every single Steelers rookie. We're really getting close to the end here, guys, so make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We put out just general Steelers videos on this channel every single day as well, so if you love in-depth Steelers content, you guys can get that on our channel for free. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers. All right, segments in the books. And now we can shift focus here to our latest Steelers Madden simulated season, Madden Sim. And it is the Paris game versus the New Orleans Saints. Okay, so interesting matchup. The Saints are a team that I think a lot of people are interested to see if they can take that next step. Tyler Shuck heading into year 2 after looking really good in year 1. Defense, I think, overperformed. It still wasn't a great defense last year, but they didn't have a lot of talent on that group. I think they definitely overperformed. They added some more talent there this year. Added some really interesting receiver options this year. So it'll be and the offensive line is pretty darn good as well. So I guess Ponzi unplugged our TV while I was gone. Saving energy over there, dude? Oh, great. Our TV's not turning on. That's fantastic. Well, Ponzi's going to try and figure this out for us here. And push comes to shove. He can just put it on my monitor here so I can watch it. And my monitor just turned off. I think we're back, though. Ladome is asking no mailbag. We do the mailbag on our second live show of the week, Ladome. So we'll be doing that on Friday. So our mailbag will be on Friday. But just so you guys know, with our Madden simulated season, we are currently sitting at 4-2. The Steelers have been doing pretty good. A couple losses that you wish you could have had back. My TV just turned off again. Am I good again? All right, good. Are you using the wrong remote? Oh, I got you. Okay. But yeah, 4-2, the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is what we've had so far. It was kind of a weird week 1 game where the Steelers were clearly the better team. They just couldn't finish in the red zone very often. And Atlanta had a blocked punt for a touchdown. That was their only touchdown of the game. They ended up winning in overtime. But then in week 2, it was probably the craziest game I've ever seen. When any of our Madden simulated games in any of the 3 years that we've been doing this, 3 lead changes in the final 15 seconds of the fourth quarter. Multiple fourth and very long conversions for touchdowns from Aaron Rodgers. We ended up beating the Patriots on the road in Foxborough. Then we took a convincing win versus the Pussycats in week 3. Then we beat the Browns in week 4. Then we took a loss, double-digit loss to the Colts in week 5. And then we beat the brakes off of Tampa on the road in week 6. So right now, Steelers sitting at 4-2. As we head into Paris week. And obviously, if the Steelers win this game, sitting pretty darn good at 5-2, heading into the Browns game at home in week 8, and a chance to go 6-2 before the bye and really set this team up nicely heading into the second half of the year. But if you lose this game, then the pressure really ramps up against the Browns in Week 8 to get this team to 5-3 before the bye. All right, man. Well, I think we're about ready. Ponzi goes, bro, this thing was literally just working. Everyone type F Ponzi in the chat. Can't get the TV working here. There it is. All right, everyone cheer in the chat. Yeah, Ponzi. Let's
W
go.
Ponzi. W Ponzi.
W Ponzi. All right. So without further ado, just so you guys know, the previous Madden game doesn't have the Paris Stadium, so this is actually at Wembley. But
yeah.
So if you see London games on there, that's why. But we're gonna pretend that this is in Paris.
Paris.
Steelers versus Saints here in Week 7. Chance to improve to 5-2 on the year. Looks like the Steelers will get the ball first as the kick is away. It's going to be fielded at around the 7-yard line by Caden Weegan, who's going to make a man miss, and then he gets absolutely blasted at the 27.
We have not seen Weegan really return one decently.
Yeah, it's all been like Jeremy Bernard, who's gotten to the 30.
They've been staying
plus.
away from him.
Yeah, true. But now Aaron Rodgers takes the field for the first time here. Just so you guys know, a little disclaimer, as we always say, Mike Tomlin is the head coach on the sideline because you can't switch out the head coach in quick play mode. So we do have the right playbooks, though, just so you guys know. Under center here in a wing formation as Rodgers hands it off to Warren, who's going to find his way through. He is fighting through blockers, picks up 7. A nice hard run from Jaylen Warren. Setting up second down and manageable.
I don't know who that is. That is not Kellen Moore. That is a guy they picked off the street.
That is Average Joe. All right, shotgun Rodgers will take the snap, hands it off to Jaylen Warren. He's going to bounce off another potential tackler and pick up a Steelers first down. Let's go, man.
Type those ones.
Type those ones in the chat. Steelers pick up the first. Now to the 38-yard line. Let's see if they can get into Saint territory. Rodgers will go in shotgun again, a 3-receiver set. Metcalf all by his lonesome to the left. Rodgers takes the snap. It's another run to Warren, and he's going to be swallowed up here. Pause. With no gain.
Miller on the tackle.
And now, second down and 10 coming up here. Might be relying on Raji's arm to get the offense going here.
They haven't attempted a single pass yet.
Yeah, they've gone run heavy here. Got trips left with a single receiver out to the right. Shotgun Rodgers. He'll take the snap, and once again another run for Warren. He's got some good blockers in front of him, and he'll pick up a Steelers first down, a gain of 10. Feeding Jaylen Warren early. And one of the most underrated running backs in football, getting going early in Paris. Shotgun here for Rodgers. Nasty bunch out to the left. Takes the snap. Looking. He's got a clean pocket. Throws over the middle. Wide open. Caught. First down. That is Jeremy Bernard, the rookie out of Alabama. First down. Steelers. Down to the Saints 32. And I love how it says Monday night prime time, even though it's Sunday morning.
I did every other stadium. All of them do this.
Really?
I guess they just do it for Europe.
I guess they just do the Monday night presentation for Europe games. First down and 10 now. They spread it out. 3-receiver set. Shotgun here for Rodgers. He'll take the snap. Hands it off to Warren, trying to find a crease. He won't find it. He gets 1 yard. Looked like Pete Warner was there on the tackle. Now they go in the pistol with Rodgers. Trips left, hands it off to Warren again, and he's just going to get a little bit. It'll be 3rd down and 7, 3rd down and long coming up here. See if Rodgers can deliver or if the Steelers are going to have to settle for a field goal on the opening drive.
Little Ricky just asked me the question of the day. What sliders do you use? I've cooked up my own that I use personally. Been in the lab.
Shotgun here. Got a wide bunch. Now there's a flag. False start. We haven't seen a false start penalty all season. It's a terrible time, too, on a 3rd and 7, going from 3rd and long to 3rd and very long. Come on now. Madden. Got trips right here. Shotgun Rodgers, no eligibles out to the right side. Rodgers stepping up. Nothing there. Now he's going to launch down the field to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Michael Pittman Jr. A miracle heave to the back of the end zone, and the Steelers take the lead. Look at this, Rodgers stepping up, skying it. It's one-on-one coverage in the corner, and it just mossed him. What a catch from Michael Pittman Jr., and the Steelers will take the lead. Type those TDs in the chat. Let me see them TDs. Let's go. Let me see them TDs. Let's go. With the voice crack and all. Kick is up, and it was almost blocked, but it goes in. 7-0 Steelers. Steelers up 7-0 to start this game in Paris. I don't know. It kind of looks like Kellen Moore. A little bit, at least. Doesn't not look like him. It's kind of like Jeremy Strong in the Social Reckoning. Some people think he looks nothing like. I'm like, he looks kind of like him, man. He looks like an older version of him. I think Zuckerberg was only 27 when the events of the movie take place, and Jeremy Strong is like 45 years old. But overall, I think he looks pretty good. Shotgun here, or not? Why did I say shotgun? It's kicked off. It's fielded at the 6. They take it to the 25. Bernard with a 2. Says, Shadur Sanders made a Pro Bowl, LOL. Yeah, he made a Pro Bowl with the literally worst EPA per play out of any quarterback in the league. That just shows you how much of a joke the Pro Bowl is. Says, Steelers fans need to be excited more. I agree. I just think that, when you have the same song and the same dance and the same result for a long time, it can be hard to believe. It can be hard, especially when a lot of people don't think Rodgers is good enough to take this team to the next level. So, under center here is Shuck. We'll take a 3-step drop. Pressure immediately. Sack. Fumble. Steelers have the football. Let's go. Who was this? Cam Hayward is the one that picks it up as he rolls into the end zone for the team celebration in the gold end zone in Paris. Who got him? Alex Highsmith with the instant win versus Kelvin Banks. Tyler Shuck fumbles it, and Cam Hayward is the one to get on top of it. And the Steelers will have the ball deep in Saints territory at their 16-yard line. Let's go. Let's go, man. What a start. Now they go offset I formation. Condensed with one lone outside receiver. Handoff to Jaylen Warren. He's fighting forward, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage somehow. Picks up a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Offset I formation again, 2 receivers, one in a nasty split, one in a wide set there with Pittman. He's going to go handoff to Warren. He's not going to get much. In fact, he's going to lose a yard. Steelers really establishing the run.
Fortunately for them, the run offense is not that good right now.
But right now, Warren's had a couple nice runs, but now we're sitting in 3rd and 10 we're in danger of squandering this opportunity. Shotgun here. 2x2 stacks in nasty splits. Takes the snap. Rodgers, nothing there. Now it's the roll out to the left. Is he going to throw it? No, he's going to run it. Takes a giant hit. 2 yards short, and there's an injury to the Saints player that tackled him, I think. Be 4th down and 2, and I think the Steelers are just going to take the 2-possession lead. 4th down and 2. Do you go for it or do you kick it? Steeler Jax is here. What's up, Steeler Jax? Good to see you, my friend. Hope life is good. And now the Steelers will, in fact, kick the field goal. Boswell will put it up, and it is good. 2-possession lead early in Paris for Pittsburgh. Another good start. It was a good start to the Tampa game, Ponzi. And now we get another good start here against the Saints. Got another $2 super chat, or $5 here as we wait for the kickoff from Bernard. Says, is completion rate and completion percentage are the same thing? Yes, they are. Completion rate and completion percentage are the same thing. Kick is up. We'll put your super chat on screen here momentarily here, Mr. Bernard, but it's fielded at the 5. Taken out, broke a tackle here, but now he's going to be brought down at the 19. Maybe he shouldn't have broken the tackle. But as Tyler Shuck retakes the field here after, I believe it was just one play, right? They tried throwing it, and it was
a one-play
drive. One play sack fumble for Alex Highsmith. Guess he's pissed off about the Nick Herbig deal. Wants to show everybody he can still do it.
Once again, not scripted. It's actually recorded before that deal was done.
Yeah, true. Shotgun here. 3 receivers set for Shuck. He'll take the snap and go play. Actually, he'll read option it, and now Ramsey just lays him out. Another hard hit on the quarterback. Just a gain of 1, and look at him on the ground. Yeah, get up. Get up, 6.
There you go, Bernard.
There you go, Kellen Moore. Keep putting your quarterback in harm's way. It's a great strategy. Great strategy.
Actor Kellen Moore.
Here we go, condensed formation here for New Orleans. Now they send their running back out wide. Chuck now an empty, takes the snap, looking, throws quickly, wide open. Nobody on the Steelers really matched that. And it's going to be a big gain on a 1st down for New Orleans. Now they'll go shotgun here, 3 receiver set. With 1 back in the backfield to Shuck's right. Takes the snap, hands it off. Now there's good penetration from the Steelers. And he's going to pick up about 5 yards. Travis Achan is how you apparently pronounce his name there, Ponzi. I don't know. He'll always be ETN.
Yeah, I don't care.
But he's Achan, apparently. Now they go into the I formation. Let's see if they run it again. Takes a snap. Oh, he should have handed it off. It was a huge hole. It's going to be throws a corner out, though, wide open, and then Jaylen Ramsey lays out the receiver. 1st down, Saints. If you get a second, Ponzi, can you go grab my charger at my desk? My computer's running out of juice. Yeah, I know. F. Sperry in the chat. Shotgun here. Trips right. So you guys can see Ponzi walking behind me. Shuck will take the snap. He's got a clean pocket, steps up, throws middle, and incomplete. Good coverage there. Looked like Patrick Queen was there in Tampa 2 coverage. Knocked the ball away. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Christopher Turner, I'm glad that the Steelers went 12-5 in your Steelers simulation. Hopefully they can do just that well or even better. Shotgun here for Shuck looking. Pressure getting to him. Nothing there. And now TJ Watt is going to be there for the sack. It looked like Keanu Benton got the pressure. And then the sack from TJ Watt. Yeah, let's go. Sack from TJ Watt. It'll be 3rd down and very long coming up. Thank you, sir. All right, let's get the ball back here, and let's go up 3 scores before we even get to the second half. That'd be great. Man, today Cassie got one of my favorite places in the world. I can never have it because they don't have it down here, but Noodles and Company, have you ever heard of that?
I've not heard of that.
They have the best mac and cheese, and she sent me a picture of it today. I was pissed. Shotgun here for Shuck, nothing there. Now pressure getting to him on the blitz. He has to throw it away. Incomplete. 4th and 19, Steelers getting the ball back.
Defense showing up.
That's what I'm talking about, Ponzi. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what I'm talking about, defense.
Little Ricky saying the Steelers went 12-5 in his simulation.
Oh, and it's going to be sacked! Sacked on the punt, and the Steelers take over at the 37. The Saints took too long to punt it, and it wasn't blocked, but it was sacked. And now the Steelers take over at the 37-yard line on a short field for the second time in a row. Zark Craig says Noodles & Co. mac and cheese is fantastic.
I'll have to take y'all's word on it.
Exactly, man. It is so freaking good.
Where's the nearest location from here?
I got to get something Cassie loves for dinner tonight and send her a picture. Get some payback. Handoff here to Rico Dowdle. Stiff arms a man and picks up a yard. Got to say, man, run blocking not doing too well for the Steelers so far. Dave A is asking, what was that on mac and cheese? Noodles & Company is the best mac and cheese. If you find a good Noodles & Company, their mac and cheese is unbeatable. Shotgun here, trips right. Going to try and throw the seam. Almost intercepted by Rodgers. Tried to get it in there, but Ellis got his big paw in there. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Michael says he did his Steelers simulation, and Rodgers got hurt in Week 15. Will Howard took them to the AFC Championship.
That is crazy.
Shotgun right, pistol. Rodgers looking, throwing middle, perfectly placed. What a throw from Rodgers. Metcalf got blasted, but it moves the chains. And that is the quarterback-wide receiver duo we're hoping to see. Look at how tight that window is from Rodgers, man. Fit it right in there. Rodgers held on despite the hit.
Just look at the nearest location. It's in Kansas. Damn.
Yeah, man. The nearest Noodles & Company, I believe, is in Kansas from here. So, condensed formation. It's going to be a quick 3-step drop. Slant Metcalf caught for a gain of 7. Steelers now in the Saints territory. Or Saints should say, red zone. We got Anthony Fuller in the chat.
Let's go.
We are not worthy, King Yinzer. Shout out to you. Under center here, once again, a condensed bunch out to the right, single receiver out to the left. 5-step drop. Rodgers throws on the out, and it's incomplete. Poorly thrown ball to Michael Pittman, who might have scored if that was put on him just right. Instead, it'll be 3rd down and 3. I will say, Ponzi, there's at least like 1 or 2 throws a game with Rodgers. You're in this Madden sim where it's like, man, that's just a bad throw. Whether it's a bad decision or bad accuracy, yeah, it's just Madden. Shotgun here for Rodgers, takes the snap. He's going to throw, just picks up the 1st down. Good decision from Rodgers, and that is Michael Pittman Jr., who caught the touchdown. Signals 1st down. Let's do it with him. 1st down and goal from the 7. The Saints in danger of going down 3 scores in the first half. In Paris. Condensed formation, under center in the single back. Rico Dowdle is in as the back. Takes a snap. Rodgers steps up after a 5-step drop. Now he's looking to run. He's going to slide down at the. Whoa! He was never touched. And somehow they say he didn't give himself up as Rodgers cleans off the cleats. He faked him out. The Kenny Pickett fake slide for the touchdown.
How is this allowed?
Unbelievable.
What?
Aaron Rodgers. No one touched him. And he slides into the end zone for 6, and now Kellen Moore is like, why didn't you touch him? He's going to get fined for touching a player, by the way.
Thank you, Jonathan Gannon.
And now Chris Boswell puts it up, and the Steelers are up 3 scores in the first half.
Now let's hope they don't choke. We have seen some crazy comebacks this season.
But yeah, man, I'm trying to figure out my dinner plans live on Steelers Talk right now. It's got to be something that Cassie loves. I mean, she loves Culver's. Now, I just had Culver's.
Just double dip.
But, like, Culver's is always good.
I've never tried it. I need to try it.
People that, I mean, I know a lot of people talk about In-N-Out, and they talk about Whataburger, all these different places. Culver's is undefeated, man. Kick is away from Chris Boswell. It's going to be fielded at around the 6-yard line. And good tackle here by, it looks like, Cole Holcomb or somebody. No, that's Jack Sawyer. Attaboy, Jack.
Getting that work done.
And now the Saints will take over at the 23. I mean, they got to score here, Ponzi, because guess what? They do get the ball to start the second half. They got a chance to double dip, but they go down 3. If they go into the half down 3 scores, that's going to be tough sailing for them in the second half.
Yeah, you might have to, at the timeout I see Ghost here, just said Culver's is mid.
I have to disagree, man. Culver's so fresh. The service is great. So many different things you can get there that are just fire. In terms of fast food places, it's hard to beat Culver's. Play action here. Shuck looking, nothing there. Now he has to throw it, kind of panicked. Picks up 4. Steelers defense is rattling Tyler Shuck. By the way, what is Tyler Shuck's rating in Madden?
I think he's a 76.
76, all right. Here we go, shotgun. Doubles right with a wing out to the left here. They're going to send Jordan Tyson, the rookie out of Arizona State, in motion. Then they're going to hand it off to Achane. He's just going to pick up a few. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Steelers with a chance to get off the field. Type those threes, man. Type those threes if you want to get off the field. What's your guys' favorite burger place, fast food restaurant, what have you?
My favorite burger place is none of them because I don't like burgers.
Dave says fries disappoint at In-N-Out. I completely agree. That's why I only get the burger and the shake there. I never get the fries. A lot of people like them animal style, though. Shotgun, Shuck throws a quick little dart slant here. It's going to be caught for a 1st down to Jordan Tyson. Now the Saints are moving a little bit. Christopher Turner saying bebops. I've never heard of bebops. Maybe that's a sin. Maybe that's something I gotta check out. Matt Geelan says Sonic. Sonic's got great slushies, I will say, and great tots. Here we go. It's going to be empty. Now they're going to run it. Design quarterback run with Shuck. He's not going to get much, but he gets a decent gain of 4. Czar Craig, that's a good one. It says 5 guys is really good. That's true. It is overpriced, though. And do we really count that as fast food?
I don't count 5 guys as fast food.
Like, I almost feel like Shake Shack is in that category. That's excellent, too, but like there's no Shake Shack drive-thrus. Shotgun here, trips left. It's going to be read option. Now Shuck is moving, and he'll pick up another 4. Be 3rd down and 2.
See, like, my fast food, I got to, like, think about my top ones because, like, my go-to all time, like, talk about most visited, it's Panda.
Well, before you even chime in here, keep in mind, Ponzi hates cheeseburgers.
Burgers in general.
He just hates burgers. So, like, I feel like you can't even have, like, a legitimate claim to this.
Yeah, I'm like a toddler.
Now, Tyler Shuck escapes the pocket here, and now Shuck for the 3rd time in a row, this time for a big gain, gets down to the Steelers 33. Steelers better put a spy on Tyler Shuck, man.
Man, he's got sneaky athleticism.
He beat Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen had no idea he was that fast.
Just took a bad angle. See, like ordering a burger to go from Applebee's, that's not fast food. That's just ordering a burger.
Applebee's is not fast food. Might go to Applebee's tonight. A little solo Applebee's trip. Shotgun here. 2x2 formation. Handoff to Achane. Going nowhere. Looked like that was Patrick Queen on the tackle. Dave A says Culver's is a Midwest staple. Indeed it is. It is. God, man, James says he makes the best burgers. Hands down. Maybe you'll have me over, man. Test that theory out. Shotgun here for Shuck. Sends Achane out in motion. Wide to the left. Takes the snap. Shuck looking. Throws middle. Caught on a little curl route. Picks up 8.
I don't know what TJ Watt was doing there. Had a path to the ball and just stood still. Like a statue.
Good for TJ Watt. I guess he got tired.
Bro got paid all that money.
$41 million a year.
And you're tired?
Now here we go. 3rd down and 2. A chance to get off the field. Force him to a field goal. Takes the snap. Shuck. Pressure getting in on him. He's sacked. Cam Hayward absolutely bulldozing the man in front of him and brings down the 2nd-year QB. Timeout for, I believe, Pittsburgh. All right.
This is a 29-yarder. Or at the 29-yard line, rather.
So this is not like a gimme, I guess.
Steelers
will have a chance to possess the ball before the end of this half. Go get a field goal, be up 3 scores. I like the move here. Kick is up. Oh, I thought it got blocked for a second. Is it good?
Yep.
It is good. All right, look at that. I don't know who that was flying in there, but the Steelers almost blocked this thing.
Good job not running into the kicker.
And now the Steelers will have a minute and 2 timeouts to go down and get a field goal. Very doable here, Ponzi.
Saints do have 3 timeouts, though, so don't want to not
true.
get anything.
You don't want to take too many sacks. But still a chance to go down and go into halftime up 3 scores. That would be ideal.
I got some NFL news. Tucker Kraft expects to start in week 1 with no restrictions.
He's a tank, man.
He's a beast.
He's a top 5 tight end in the game when he's healthy.
He was a beast against us.
Yep. I keep saying shotgun. It's just kicked off to the 5. Weegin gets to the 29. I still don't think Weegin has gotten to the 30 this season on a return.
And he's not really gotten a lot. I put him as kick returner 1. Maybe I need to put him as a kick returner 2.
Schuleberg says Shake Shack has the best burger. I mean, listen, man. I love me some Shake Shack. Cassie and I both love Shake Shack, so maybe that'll be the move tonight. Go to Shake Shack. Maybe get a root beer float.
Dude, I love root beer floats.
If you've never gotten a root beer float at Shake Shack, do it tonight. It is amazing.
It is great.
Empty here with a quad formation out to the left. Rodgers stepping up in the pocket. It's overthrown. There's the second bad throw that we were expecting there, Ponzi.
We've got 5. If you don't have 5 a game, you're probably thanking God.
Yeah. Christopher Turner says Bebops is mostly in Iowa. I went to school in Iowa. I've never heard of Bebops. Under center here in a heavy formation, play action. Rodgers stepping up, running with it. Nobody's on him, and he slides down to the 45.
No shot.
Clock continues to tick. The Steelers not using their timeout as Rodgers is too busy celebrating to get them to the line of scrimmage.
There's one thing I don't like about Madden Sim. Hurry-up offense just doesn't exist.
All right, here we go. We're down to 30 seconds. Empty formation. Takes the snap. Rodgers. Pressure getting in. He throws it off his back foot. It's caught for another first down. Timeout Steelers.
Finally.
Who is this to? Are they going to show replay? Don't think so. Schuleberg says Rodgers pulled a Chase Claypool.
Oh, my God. I forgot about that.
Dave A says, love Shake Shack burgers, fries, and shakes. They all kick ass. I actually don't love their shakes.
Wow.
I really prefer their floats. Their floats are, I think, a lot
I actually
better.
really like their shakes. So
Shotgun here, trips right. Going to throw quickly on a little hitch. Caught by Metcalf. Are they going to call timeout here? Are they going to let the clock run out on them?
They called a timeout literally 2 seconds ago.
Come on, man.
Dude.
Don't let this clock run out on us.
Or maybe they're taking it down to take a field goal? No.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Timeout called with 3 seconds left. They're going to probably attempt the long field goal with Boz. Schuleberg says, congrats on getting married. Thanks, man. Happy for you and glad you're back in studio. You and me both, my friend. I'll have that. I'll have to try that root beer float. Yes, dude. I'm telling you. Root beer float at Shake Shack is gas. This is a long field goal, man. 55 yards to go up 3 scores heading into halftime. A big play here. Kick is up. Does it make it? No, it missed it.
Had the distance.
Boswell had the distance. It was wide. It looked like left. So the Steelers, this is still a game here, man. The Saints get the ball to start the second half, and the Steelers defense just gives up a touchdown. This is back to a 1-score game.
Man.
Marco Man is asking, is there an Andy's frozen custard down there? Nope. There's not. Sounds good, though.
Which is crazy because they sponsored Texas Motor Speedway, the race.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they sponsored.
Well, maybe there is one down here, and I just never heard of it.
It's good. It's pretty much like a shake ice cream place too, with some fast food options.
I'm gonna look this up.
Kind of like Brahms.
Okay, but Brahms doesn't have good food in my opinion. Oh, never mind. They do have one.
Yeah, I was about to say because they sponsor Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, they do have one. It's 25 minutes away. It's outside of Dallas, but I mean it's doable. I also like Freddy's. Freddy's
is good.
Freddy's is really good. And also, underrated one, Steak and Shake.
See, if you're asking me about shakes and ice cream, I love all of them. I've tried pretty much all of them.
All right, we're back in the second half here. The Steelers kick it away. It's fielded at around the 7. Taken. Oh, my goodness. What a hit by Jack Sawyer, who's just been the special team superstar today.
MVP.
As the Saints will take over at the 25. Down 14, but a chance to get back within striking distance here if they can get a touchdown. Icy Ghost says Steak and Shake is fired. That might be the move tonight, dude.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Steak and Shake might be the move. Like, that is – Steak and Shake is so freaking good. I agree with Schuleberg. He says Whataburger is overrated. So overrated.
See, that would be considered a war crime if you lived where I lived.
Yep. Shotgun here for Shuck. Hands it off on a draw play, and Achan's going to fight forward for 4. Tackle made by Peyton Wilson.
See, I used to live in Corpus Christi, which is actually where Whataburger started. And so they have really good Whataburgers there. Like, they have, like, the best of the best. But, like,
dude,
I don't care for it as much as other people.
Steak and Shake fries, the little shoestring ones, so good. The crispy little thin ones,
yeah,
so good. Shotgun here. They send Achan out in motion to leave Shuck all by his lonesome. Takes the snap. A pressure from Pittsburgh, but they're going to leave a gap right in the middle, and Shuck has by far been their best player with the football in this game. Have they completed a downfield pass?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, and Shuck has got to be getting close to like 80 yards rushing.
Man, all this food talk's making me hungry.
Me and you both, my friend.
Burger Chat by Talk Sports.
Shotgun here for Shuck. Looking now, he has to get rid of it quickly. It looked like Cam Hayward was there to put the pressure on Shuck. I got to say, man, Shuck looks like very indecisive.
He looks rattled.
He looks a bit rattled, like he's taking off to run, all this different stuff. 2nd down and 10. Now play action pressure on him. Oh my gosh, I don't know how Shuck saw that and got rid of it, but it's going to be a gain of 2.
Dude.
Be 3rd down and 8. What a pressure from Pittsburgh. And now 3rd down and long, a chance to get him off the field here.
Super chat of the show so far.
Burger Chat by Talk Sports, presented by Prize Picks. That's good, man.
Got to talk to our bosses about that one.
Shotgun here. Takes the snap. Shuck looking. Got a clean pocket. Still clean. Now steps up, throws on the run. Oh, should have been intercepted. Looked like Joey Porter Jr. had his hands on it and couldn't bring it in. Bad decision or poor throw or both from Shuck. And that's going to be 4th and 8. Steelers are getting the ball. All they need is a field goal to make it 3 possessions, Ponzi, and essentially put this one to bed.
Maybe they can block the punt again.
They didn't block it. They just sacked the punter. Kicks away. And this is going to go out of bounds. Oh, my gosh, what a punt. It gets down to the 7-yard line. So the Steelers have a long field here. But all they need is a field goal, Ponzi. Field goal, you're up 17. Kill some more clock. You know, in a Madden game where it's not like a full clock, 3 possessions this late in the game is a death sentence. So that's the goal. Get points on this drive.
Dave says SoCal is king on fast foods and Mexican. I agree.
Under center, going to be quick throw here to a drag to Darnell Washington. Picks up 9.5. I will say, all right, depends on what kind of Mexican, because Tex-Mex is unbeatable in Texas.
Yes. As someone who's lived in both, like strictly like traditional Mexican food in California, so good.
I bet, yeah. Shotgun here for Rodgers, trips right. They're going to hand it off to, it looks like Dowdle, who's not going to pick it up. 3rd down and 1 coming up.
Is that his first carry of the day?
No, he's had multiple.
Okay.
Schuleberg says getting paid to eat and review burgers. I mean, maybe I could be the what's his face?
Oh my goodness.
The Barstool guy. Why am I blanking on him? It's gonna be a QB sneak with Rodgers, and he picks it up. 1st down Steelers. Dave Portnoy. I could be the Portnoy of burgers. How about that?
Go to different ones. Yeah.
Schuleberg says I'd beg to be the host.
Mukbangs are pretty big on YouTube.
Condensed formation with a condensed bunch out to the left, single lone receiver out wide to the right. Takes the snap. It's going to be double fake. Wide open as Rodgers has plenty of time. Throws the corner, and it's caught. Looks like that's Jeremy Bernard for the 2nd time today. Big time pickup, first down Steelers. Let's go, man. Keep that drive going.
Kill some clock. We'll be chilling.
Shotgun here. 3 receivers. Going to be play action. Now just dumps it off to Dowdle, the running back. Tries to stiff arm a guy. Doesn't work. He only picks up 1. Oh, I see Ghost says A and W.
Oh, my goodness.
A and W is gas.
Dude. We used to have one where I lived. They shut it down. Worst day of my life. Debatably. In terms of fast food.
Worst day of my life. Shotgun for Rodgers. Takes the snap. Going to go screen to look like Dowdle. Is Jaylen Warren injured? We haven't seen him in forever. It's going to be a heavy loss. A loss of 3 here.
Well, remember, Jaylen Warren did get hurt before the international game last year.
That's true. 3rd and 12 here. 3rd and very long. Let's see if Rodgers can dig him out of here. Got a nasty bunch out to the left. Takes the snap. Rodgers has time in the pocket, but now it's running out. Throws on the run. It's incomplete. Oh, my gosh. Tried to go to Metcalf. And unfortunately, the Steelers are not able to get in the field goal range. They're going to give the ball right back to New Orleans with a chance to get back within 1 score. Cameron Johnston boots this away. Decent punt, gets down to the 13, and he's not going anywhere. Shoved to the ground at the 19. Got to say, man, I know it's just Madden. This Steelers team is hard hitting.
Yeah.
They hit people hard. Special teams, out in space, doesn't matter, man. They hit you hard.
You know, the thing is, too, I feel like the game has been like a blowout, but like it's been kind of close, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of got that Atlanta Falcons game feel to it where it's like the Steelers have been killing them, but, I mean, they haven't sealed the deal. Shotgun here, 3 receivers for Shuck. He will send to look like Alvin Kamara out in motion. Takes the snap. Will throw into the flat. Is caught for a gain of 4. Schuleberg says completely unrelated, but Waffle House? I think Waffle House is so overrated.
I just can't believe you said that. Just
I
cannot
mean,
believe it.
Listen, man, I know a lot of people love it. I don't know, man. It's just every time I go there, it's just like the most shitty food. I'm sorry, man. It's always poorly made. The service sucks. Under center, play action, pressure on him. Immediately throws. Oh, my goodness. What a rip shot.
Jeez.
I don't know how Tyler Shuck has survived this game after how much he's run with the football, all the hard hits he's taken. Now 3rd down and 6. Let's get that ball right back here, folks. Empty formation for Shuck. Takes the snap. Looking. Nothing there. Throws short. Caught Olave. First down. And another hard hit from Patrick Queen. Gets down to the 36, but that's a huge 3rd down pickup for New Orleans.
I don't know how.
Matt says Buffalo Wild Wings is so good. It is good, man. If you find a good Buffalo Wild Wings that actually has like good service.
There's one near Irving's really good over here.
It's really good. Shula says Waffle House is only good if you're drunk. Well, I guess that disqualifies it for me. Look at this run from Kamara, just sifting through the line of Steelers. And Kamara, who really hasn't run the ball all that much in this game, gets a huge gain. That might be the biggest gain of any player in this game outside of Tyler Shuck.
Yeah. See, I got to disagree with that, though. I really like Waffle House, and I don't drink.
Under center here, condensed formation. Play action, roll it to the left. He's going to dump it off to the tight end, Johnson, who will pick up 4. Peyton Wilson on the tackle.
Then again, I'm a big waffle guy, though.
Yeah, and I'm not. I'm not a pancake or a waffle guy. I don't know why. It's just I'm not the biggest fan.
See, I have no right to criticize you on that.
Like, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where it's like I actually like my dad's pancakes, but like his are so good it's ruined it for the rest of every other pancake I've ever had.
Damn.
Shotgun here for Shuck. He's going to go screen. It's caught. And he's going to pick up another Saints first down as they get down to the Steelers 36.
I believe that was Tyson.
But I don't love pancakes. You know what I do like? I like crepes.
I love crepes.
I'll do crepes for breakfast any day of the week, man. Crepes are delicious. Why don't you just say you love really thin pancakes? Nope, not going to do it. Break it, Frenchie. God, name the movie in the chat. All right, first down and 10, shotgun for the Saints. Chuck will take the snap, steps up, now throws to the flat. What a hospital. Oh, my goodness, what a hit from Deshaun Elliott.
Oh, my God.
Tried to go to Travis Etienne. I mean, that's a stupid decision from Tyler Shuck there.
Looks rattled out there.
Christopher says Sonic has good shakes. I don't think I've ever gotten a shake.
Really
from
good
Sonic.
shakes.
I'm sure they are really good. Their specialty is drinks. Shotgun takes the snap. Steelers send pressure. Now it's going to be a little bit of a shovel and incomplete. It's his own lineman. Two kind of head-scratching attempts from Tyler Shuck, and it'll be 3rd down and 10.
There we go.
Very condensed formation on 3rd and long here for the Saints. Takes the snap. Shuck stepping up. Nothing there. Now pressure getting to him. He throws tight coverage. It's incomplete. Great job by Jamel Dean to knock that out. 4th down and 10. Let's see if New Orleans tries the field goal, but either way, they're going to be down 2 touchdowns. Or never mind, they could get another field goal theoretically and then a 2-point conversion, but like they're going for this. 4th down and 10. Type those fours. Takes the snap. They send pressure. Shuck throws as he's hit. Somehow caught.
My goodness.
What a throw and catch. And Vele caught it despite hurting his wrist. There was so much going against the Saints on that play. Pressure getting to Tyler Shuck, affecting the throw. Somehow still throws it accurately. Tight coverage. Vele catches it, but he gets injured.
Dude.
With the thing he caught the football with. Explain that to me, Madden.
He's just built different. Mogged.
Bro. Now they're on the precipice of making this a 1-possession game. They're on the Steelers' 10-yard line, under center in the I formation. Shuck will take the snap, 3-step drop, throws end zone on the fade. Almost intercepted. Tight coverage, and it's incomplete. 2nd down and goal. $2 from Schuleberg. Catch up on some super chats here after this drive. Shotgun here, trips left for Shuck. Steelers double mugged, and now pressure, throws end zone close, caught at the 1. I mean, once again, Shuck got hit as he threw the ball, threw it perfectly. Tight coverage again from Pittsburgh. I mean, you can't blame the coverage. The coverage has been great. Now at the 1-inch yard line on 3rd and goal, do they just go QB sneak here? Yep, QB sneak in, touchdown Saints. We have a ball game. I cannot believe this is a ball game right now, folks. Steelers went up 17-0 to start this game. 10 unanswered here from New Orleans, and now striking distance. $2 from Bernard. What does forward progress mean? It means if a player moves backwards after being initially contacted at a certain spot, they're going to be marked down at the furthest that they were contacted, if that makes any sense.
Wow.
Schuleberg says honest predictions. Oh, wait. I hope A-Rod runs for a 70-yard touchdown in real life. It will not happen, Bernard. I will shit in the streets of Dallas, Texas, and post it on this channel if he runs a 70-yard touchdown.
Schuleberg.
I will. I will do that.
Oh, my God. It's very...
I will eat at Waffle House. If he
See, those are two very different things. You can't just say
no, they're not.
Oh my God.
I have to eat shit at Waffle House.
That's just crazy.
$2 from Schuleberg says honest predictions for Joey Porter Jr. I'm guessing he's talking about the contract here. I'll answer this here after Caden Weegen's return. Actually, no, that's Jeremy Bernard taking it out to the 23. I would say in terms of the contract, 4 years, $27.5 million per season is my best guess. I don't think he'll get Derek Stingley, Sauce Gardner money. Don't think he gets Trent McDuffie money. But I think he will get more than J.C. Horn. I think he'll get more than J.C. Horn. And I think it'll be around the $27 or $28 million mark.
Gotta get a score on this drive.
It's going to be a quick slant here from Rodgers to Jeremy Bernard for a gain of 7. Schuleberg says if you eat at Waffle House, you might end up shitting in the streets of Dallas. Fair enough. Might just kill 2 birds with 1 stone there. See, Carey knows what's up. He's they say Awful House.
Y'all are just haters, man.
Hand off to Rico Dowdle. Not going to get it. 3rd down and 2. Steelers in danger of putting the ball back in the hands of the Saints.
Dude.
Down only 7. Come on now, Steelers. What's up, Beast?
What's up, Beast?
You never told him the Grubs gummy worm story?
I will tell you when we get off live. It's unreal, dude. Rodgers hits a seam to move for a big gain down to the 44. First down, Steelers.
I can only imagine.
Look at this throw, man. Beautifully placed in between 3 defenders on the back shoulder. Rodgers, when he has that back shoulder throw animation, you know it's a perfect throw. Now, condensed I formation here for Pittsburgh and New Orleans territory now. A field goal would go a long way, just to go up 2 scores. Now it's going to be a sweep. There goes Dowdle. He's running down to the 28. First down, Steelers, and they're now within easy Chris Boswell field goal range. That's a big blow there, Ponzi. I would run the football here in this situation if I'm Pittsburgh. Kill as much clock as possible. Take the 2-possession lead and force New Orleans to, put some pressure on you. Shotgun here. Rodgers will throw off his back foot. Oh my goodness, overthrew it. Right when I say the back shoulder animation is always a perfect throw. That one, it very much was not.
Man. F with Juice says we were really watching Madden. Yeah, we're having fun.
Having fun. We're enjoying our offseason, man.
It's a fun office here.
Shotgun here, takes the snap, stepping up. Rodgers throws it a tight window, incomplete.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh, man. There's a lot of stopping the clock right now. FW Juice, we're not taking it too serious, man. We're just having some fun watching the Madden sim here. Obviously, this isn't the real season, so, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
We're just here to have some fun, man, and chop it up with the boys. Shotgun here, takes the snap. Rodgers in the pocket. Nothing there. Now has to throw. Finally finds Metcalf, who picks up a big Steelers first down. And that means the clock can continue to tick here, Ponzi.
Don't know why we are passing it so heavily, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It was what it was.
Here we go now. Shotgun, trips right for Rodgers. Metcalf, the receiver, out to the left. Takes the snap. Rodgers will go draw play to Dowdle. Finds some nice room to run. He picks up 8. Touchdown would really put New Orleans in a tough spot here with the clock continuing to tick down. And that 8-yard run puts the Steelers in a good spot because the Saints have to protect the sticks, but they also have to protect the end zone at the same time. This is a tough place to be if you're a defense. They go heavy here. No receivers out on the field. Hand off to Dowdle, who picks up -1.
See, proper clock management is not taking timeouts here. You're letting it play out no matter what if you're the Saints, because either way, on 4th down, it would be the 2-minute warning, and you still have to throw 3 timeouts.
Shotgun here for Rodgers. 2-by-2 formation, takes the snap, they send blitz. Rodgers will throw to the flat. It's caught, and he's in! Touchdown, Rico Dowdle. Let's go, baby. As Dowdle will dance on him in London. Not in London, in Paris.
Paris.
Nice little back shoulder throw, perfectly placed. Hit him in stride on the flat. And Warner couldn't catch up to him. Steelers will go up 2 touchdowns here with 2 minutes and 30 seconds about left to go in this game.
Kind of a closer one than the score indicated.
Yeah, sure.
But a good one.
So it's sure looking like, unless there's a miracle here, it's sure looking like the Steelers will improve to 5-2 on the year heading into Cleveland week at home. Steelers already beat Cleveland on the road. I can't imagine they'll have too many issues when they're at home. But the 2 games the Steelers have lost this year have been at home, Ponzi.
Yeah.
They lost at home in the season opener versus Atlanta, and then they lost pretty handily to the Colts, honestly. But the Saints are going to be looking to try and move down the field pretty quickly here, and they need a touchdown. Getting that touchdown is big. They can't just settle for the field goal and then hope to get a stop on defense. They're going to have to score twice and probably get an onside kick. Kick is away. It's going to be fielded at the 4. And it's taken down at the 25.
Here comes Tyler Shuck, man.
And here comes Tyler Shuck. He's gotten better as the game has gone on, Ponzi, but I think it's a little bit too late for him.
Might be the leading rusher of both teams.
I'd be shocked if he's not. He ripped off a couple 30-yard bangers there. We'll go trips left. Shotgun for Shuck. Takes the snap. Shuck looking. He's got time in the pocket. Now throws middle. It's going to be caught. Patrick Queen in coverage. Looks like that's Noah Fant, their new tight end, who picks up a good, solid gain. Gets all the way down to the 41. That's a good start for them, Ponzi.
Terrible rage bait attempt, Ace Boogie. Terrible.
Damn, Ace Boogie is predicting the Steelers go 2-15 this year. I highly doubt it. Takes the snap. Shuck looking, steps up, pressure there, and T.J. Watt with his second sack of the day. T.J. Watt. Let's go.
Man,
Now,
if the Steelers went 2-15, probably had to eat at Waffle House.
probably, man. Shotgun here for Shuck. Little McCaffrey motion. Now Shuck stepping up, finds his check down, caught. It looks like that's Jordan Tyson, the rookie out of Arizona State. Decent gain. Sets up third and manageable, but that clock will continue to tick. New Orleans saving their timeouts.
For some reason.
Tell you what, Ace Boogie, I'll bet you $1,000. I'll take the over on 2.5 wins. Shuck is going to throw it to Tyson. It's caught. Big gain. Gets down to the 30. Clock stops as he goes out of bounds.
Oh, no.
God, man, these Saints just won't die.
Oh, when the Saints go marching in.
Now they go empty again. Condensed formation, though. Shuck will take the snap. Clean pocket. Dumps it off. Quick little dump off to Jordan Tyson. I mean, hey, now they have to take a timeout, and they're already past the 2-minute warning.
Yep.
So, I mean, they're going to have to go onside if they score a touchdown here. I'll take those little 8-yard gains to the bank. All right, I don't care if you give up a touchdown here. I'll gladly trade time off the clock for a touchdown. Gladly. Now Alex Highsmith is out in the slot for some reason.
What are we
Takes
doing?
the snap, Shuck, pressure, throws quick slant. Look at this great defense from Pittsburgh. Just all over the screen is Peyton Wilson. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Clock continues to tick. New Orleans deciding not to take a timeout.
They've given up.
Takes the snap, Shuck. Stepping up. Now, oh my goodness, he gets absolutely rocked
There he
by
is
Peyton
again.
Wilson. There he is again. 3rd-year linebacker at NC State. Clock continues to tick on 4th and 11. Will they even go for it? I'm sure they will, but
Yeah.
Takes the snap, looking, steps up, throws to the end zone. Pressure or good coverage. It's just out of the back of the end zone, and Patrick Queen is doing the LeBron celebration. Put my hand on your chest, boy. Let's go. Steelers take over. 31 seconds left. All we need is a knee. Ace Boogie says, all love, just calling it how I see it. 5-12 at best.
Wow.
This was a 10-7 team, and the roster is better. You think at best it's half the wins we got last year, man? Damn. You must think Rodgers is really bad. Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one, Ace Boogie. I'll still take the over on 5.5 wins. That's an easy bet for me, man. But hey, I appreciate your opinion, my friend. All right, that's it from Paris. 24-10. Steelers win. They improved to 5-2. Of course, guys, we're going to be going live again this week on Friday. Okay, so we'll be live for whatever happens the rest of the week. And then, of course, we'll have our next Madden sim right before the bye week. Week 8 versus the Cleveland Browns at home. We beat them in Cleveland earlier in the season. Hopefully they can get the season sweep and go into the bye 6-2. But thank you guys so much for joining us here today. Thank you to everyone that super chatted. Of course, we'll be back on Friday, guys, so make sure you guys join us for that. But until then, I really do appreciate your guys' support. I'll see you guys next time. And until then, here we go, Steelers.